On August 21, 2024, will be the third day of the viewing of the Edo State Regional Master Plan and the Benin City Master Plan. The Ministry of Physical Planning, Housing, Urban and Regional Development don hold one big event wey bring together different people from education sector like primary, secondary and tertiary school operators plus organizations like Decagon and Edo Innovation Hub, and also welcome people from other sectors like Christian Association of Nigeria, Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, hotel owners, real estate developers and landlord association to come see for themselves the Edo State Master Plans and how it take concern them. The Honorable Commissioner for Physical Planning, Housing, Urban and Regional Development, Isoken Omo, come yarn dem say citizen involvement dey very important for the master plan execution, say the plan dey accessible and come chook mouth on the need to achieve early successes to build public trust and support.
We launched the Edo State Socio-Economic Development Plan. That is the plan that will take us to Edo State of our dreams. That is the plan that our objective of that plan is to make Edo State a destination for investment and living come 2051, 30 years time. So it was launched at Land, but you as you are aware, I can have a desire. I want to be a lawyer, for example. There are things I will do. That's my aspiration. But first of all, I have to be born first. When I'm born, then I will get to the age when I go to school. I'll finish primary school. I will have to pass well to go to a good secondary school. Then I'll finish secondary school. I'll also have to pass well to go to a good tertiary university, tertiary institution. Then when I finish, I'll go to law school. No matter how much even if I have first class in law and I do not go to law school, I'll be a lawyer. I'll just have a law degree. I'll not be a lawyer. Okay? Then after finishing law school, I now have to go and attach myself to a chamber, get the experience, and become a kind of lawyer. So there is a process. So my aspiration is to become a lawyer, Abi? But there are things I must do to actually actualize that. So our aspiration is to become a destination of choice for investment and living. Okay? Which is good. But without these other plans, we cannot get it. This is the how. This is what we want to do. But this is the how. How do we get there? So this is what brings us to the physical master plans. Obviously, if I say, okay, I want my place to be the best, physical planning to be the best ministry, then I have to put some things in place to attract people, so that people can come in here. So that is what the physical master plans are. And do as far as we have to. And that's why I just have to put all the more documents and go with it. But we have the Benin City Master Plan and the Edo State Regional Development Plan. We did that consciously because Benin City is the major city we have in Edo State. We don't have any other one. Then we have other towns attached. But the fact remains that Benin City has over 50% of our population. So it therefore means that if I sort out Benin City, I've sorted out 50% of our population. It's easier for me to sort out Benin City than to go to the 18 local government and do 2%, 2%, 3%, 1% to get my 50%. Do you understand? So if you sort out Benin, then the other ones will be easier for us to sort. Anything you are doing, you are adding to that 50%. Do you get me? So what I do Benin, just like, you know the way people are from the education sector, so I can do, you can relate with this. Yeah, in an exam, there are some questions that I must do. Number one is compulsory. Number one carries 45 marks. While the others are 10 marks. So that waste all your time doing 10 marks. If you don't do number one, you fail. Am I correct? You fail. So you find out that most times we concentrate on this that part of that number one. Where is coming out from? That's what we waste our time. And because once you do number one, at least you have your D. Are you getting me? Then any other one start moving to C, B, and A. So basically that is what it is. So for us, once we sort out B, every other thing will be sorted. That is one. Second reason why statistics show that these urban areas of the world constitute 2% of its land mass. Just 2%. But they collect 70% of infrastructure. 70% for 2%. So no matter what you do, you find out that the major cities across the world have the most infrastructure. Other places are not as developed as they are. Whatever you want to call it. Is it Dubai? Is it London? Is it New York? Is it Hamburg? Any major city, you find out that the infrastructure that is there is more in comparison with the others. So Benin City will take, most will say, oh, Edo South. No, it's because it is the capital. It will take the most infrastructure. That is why Lagos is the way it is. Because it was the capital, it attracted everything. So now that it's a state, it looks like it's so developed. No, it was because it was the capital of Nigeria. So everything went there first before other people. So that is what is happening in the master plan. So that's why we have the Benin City master plan to deal with the Benin City and then a lot of regional development plan, so that every local government will look at this comparative advantage and develop from there. So look at everything. Okay, Olomo is an agri place. So how do we do agri things there to make sure that people stay in Olomo? Because if I'm in Olomo and I'm a farmer and I have good schools, I have good roads, I have good health center, I have good recreation, I have market to go to, will I go to the answer me? I'm not listening. If I go to the, I want to see the Oba or to Benin Mall or so, or I'm passing Benin to go somewhere, I want to travel out. I will be comfortable in my place. But because most of the time we don't have these amenities there, everybody's coming to Benin. So there's a pressure. And that's what leads to slums, unplanned areas. Because when they come, they must live somewhere. And since they can't buy in the city because it's too expensive, they move to where it's a bit cheaper. That place there's no road, no water. So they do self-help. They put their road by themselves, they start to do their borehole, all that. And so the city becomes unplanned. We don't want it to be like that. I want to make sure that the city is planned like it was originally done. So we're just going to show you, not an presentation, but we're just going to show you how we got here, and then we'll talk from there. Before I leave here, I want to say something else. Why 30 years? 30 years is a generation. A generation between 25 and 30 years. From the time you're born to the time you become an adult, to make it this way, about 25. You leave university about 20, 21, you do your civil service 23, you get a job. Anybody who is 25 to 30 is still with their parents. It's either they are very rich and they have many houses there and they share it to them, or maybe the parents are old and they need carer, or something is fundamentally wrong with the person. Because at that time your parents will drive you and say, go, I don't try, I don't do my best. Your mates don't do their papa house. Come out from my house. Is it not so? So that is a generation. And those things is 33. So we finish a generation, maybe you don't realize. So at this time, if we be picking, don't even the drivers come from house, yes or no? So that means that things that they don't should have done by now. As if you have a 30-year-old and they call and come and you don't think you're in trouble. Do you understand? Or the 30 years say, oh no, because I don't know. At 30 years, never mind, never mind. There will be a problem. So maybe we look at ourselves as a generation, what have we done? Even though counting of nations is quite different though, I must tell you, it's different. Because we count in centuries and see how far. But even at that, there are nations that have formed data and they have caught up, use technology and things. So we must benchmark with the people that are ahead of us. We can't look at people that did not make it. So we have finished one generation, whether we like it or not, because that waits for nobody. We are now in the third year of our second generation. Are we still going to go to you to have a plan? Because the other plans we have done, they failed. If you look at it, we have about 30% achievement across, from the very first one in the Midwest, which was the policy, to the Duxasis plan that we had in Bendel, and then to the Obayiwana one of 2002. These three plans, if you take them and put them on anywhere in Benin, if you want to tie it to it, you will not see much. So we separate everybody stuff. We want to know why did those plans fail. One of the reasons why they failed was people did not participate. They just did it, did a big launch, dropped it somewhere, and then people went their way. So they could not, people could not relate to the plans. That's what we're calling you. So you can say, okay, this is what is supposed to happen at this time. This is my responsibility. Not because you're in the ecosystem of education, but also because you're a citizen or a resident in the area. So you know the past is concerning you. I mean, it's not just the school. How you're going to get to this important. How your children are going to get healthcare is important. How you're going to get to the market, everything that's happening is important. What is erosion doing to me? What is health? What is that administration? What is technology? What is it doing for me? What does it mean? So you need to know this so that you know, okay, no, this is what ought to be here. This thing is waste. It should be going so place. Pack out. Remove it because you are aware. So that is why we started. This plan started at 2023. If you look at it, it's from 2023 to 2053. Why did we do that? We wanted you to have confidence in the plan. So we started already working. You can see the name on is there. Correct? Secretariat is finished. Am I correct? ADB is there. Education Hub is coming. Olobo. We've done so many roads all over the state. So people can have confidence that what we promise we'll do it. And so we hand over to the next generation. They also that we started the work. It's like a relay. I have handed it over the baton. You better keep running with it. So I just want you to understand what that is. So that is why we're also launching it on the day of our anniversary on Tuesday, the 27th of August 2024. So that we will symbolically hand it over to our next generation, let them know that we mean business and we intend to implement. Okay. See, these are this talk about Comm, I want to show you something. You can see all our movements of the ring road. Yeah? All the roads that go out of it. Mission Road, Sakomba Road, Sakomba Road. If you see this is the bypass. Okay? It looks like a semicircle, is it also? The plan was to complete the bypass from there all the way here. So, if you're coming from Warri, you don't enter town. You don't come to this road. You just bypass, you land in Ugbo, and you go. But we didn't finish it. It's federal comment, but it was an Edo person who made sure that this work was being done. And I told you, and God bless him. We did not finish it. That's why you see trucks and the bypass entry in this country. Because internal roads are not meant to take that kind of traffic. They are not designed to take that kind of traffic. You understand? They are designed to take small traffic. Heavy traffic, the thickness of the road is totally different. But we didn't finish it. And it has impacted on so many things. Because if they are finished this, remember, they are finished here. So for that roads, by now, come out. So you can drop at different parts of the state. The state is now going in a haphazard way. It is now 5 local governments. 5. Already. Of their northeast. And parts of Modern. 5 local governments. But it's not going in a planned way. Because normally, if you're doing it, no, we don't have of your start. Okay, very small. See, okay, very small part of your start. So what I'm saying is that the whole start is very Benin City. We'll be like but we need to, it can be even the whole, basically it can be the whole Edo, but it must be planned. So things are happening. So whether you are living at Ogege, you don't care. There's infrastructure. Everything can come whenever you want to come. And if it's not properly, if you want to buy this, I don't need to leave Ogege and come to Ring Road. Once I come to Ring Road, the planning is wrong. Then I should get everything I need. Except I want to do bulk purchasing and things. Your district should be able to provide everything that you need. School, abroad in the UK, you cannot go to a primary school that is not walking distance to your house. Nobody will give you admission. But as you make your postcode, the school you should go is that school. You cannot go to school. Because you must be able to walk to school. He said in secondary school you must be able to enter only one bus to get to a secondary school. Only one bus. There's more than one bus you can go. You know, go to your catchment area. You used to get that one catchment area. They'll say, go to your catchment area. That is the school you must go to. So that means that the school is planned for those people. If you are not in that area, you get admission in that school. So because you plan the number of people that should be in that area, and you know this is the kind of scholarship they need in the area, and everybody is admitted. If you need grammar school, there's grammar school in your paper, you must pass the exam. That's the difference in your area. Do you understand? That is proper planning. The same thing for health. You cannot. They tell you for a hospital, this is the hospital you go. If it's a specialist matter, this is the closest specialist hospital to you. I was telling them yesterday, I said in Taiwan, we went there, and what happened? They showed us the technology they use for rescue. If anybody is sick and the ambulance comes to get you, you will get to the hospital in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And they time it. And when we went there, 2022, their achievement rate was 99.8%. And I said, how? They said once they pick you, once they do the assessment and the ambulance picks you and sees you as an emergency, they turn all the traffic light to red. The only green will be red at ambulances. So they will get you to the hospital in 5 minutes. All the roads will be red, they have to wait. The ambulance will pass. I saw it. The same thing with their cameras for car. There is no way. They showed us how people use mud to cover the number plates for where, if you like, use photo, they will find you. You understand? So they pay their road tariff with their plate numbers. They give you discount for paying early, 99.9%. And guess who was at the end of the technology? A Nigerian and a Tanzanian in Taiwan. I have their pictures. I'm telling you, a Nigerian and two black people doing this thing in Taiwan. So I'm just telling you the potential we have. If you look at the class, forget about Governor Maseki. Governor Maseki has not to do anything. We elected him to lead us. He's leading us. It is us. That's the issue. Because we are the average of the government that we have. Whatever person will put, now we choose some to follow, to lead us. So you will a follow. You have a lot to do with what happens. By the time you use man to cause him, he's a useless man, God punish him, good. It's projection. In the morning you have confusion in your brain. Because you have steps. So still is supposed to go left, start going right. Because if 50,000 of us say God punish him, God will do this. Yeah, no, no, yes. What you will do for them? That is what you are going to see. Because as you keep talking, you have to do that. You keep talking. It becomes reality. If my head, if my knee goes down to me. That's it. And when you just say, it's better. You say, you go better for Maseki. Maseki go get sense. But for Maseki not get sense, it must affect you. For Maseki get up there and say, nobody will pass you good. Pass now. So that kind of person will pray for a make your head correct. That is where we are laughing. We must understand what you are doing. This is planning, fiscal planning, bad commissioner, this and that. Of course, when I go in, I will show you on the bad commissioner. Because it's a prayer. But this is a commissioner today, we have favor. My husband told me something I can never forget. He says, okay, why you not doing that if I use your name to pray? Don't use God's name to pray, don't lie. Is it not your boss? Don't you say my boss should have favor on me? Everything there. He says it's the same thing now. As I'm praying for them, that's how people are praying for you. So don't be angry. And it is the fact. You must remember that if all of us are saying something good, eventually it does sound good. So it's in our hands, it's not the government, it's not beyond them, now all of us the government. Do you understand? And that's why we're doing this.
For the discussions, the stakeholders from both the education sector and other sectors joined the questions and answers session where them show support for the master plan and commit to make sure say it is successful.
Like you talked about other plans, they are easily put, withdrawn to the corner by other administrations. And that is my worry. What if the next governor decides to jettison this plan? As good as it is, what will happen? What can be done to sustain? Now, my prayer personally is that the PDP candidate should succeed the governor, because I think it will, continue with this master plan. But this is politics. Anything can happen. What if another governor from another political party wins? What is the hope of this master plan?
We'll talk about monitoring. I think in your own area, I think monitoring is really lacking. One, the area I stay, there's a particular location there. Somebody built a house overnight because the other person is not as rich as the other one is, had to add additional house to his own building and blocking the access to the other person's house. And the person will have to go and take another path to get to his own house. I think if there was enough monitoring, because the issue here is not about setting or putting out the master plan. The most important thing that keeps a city running is the monitoring. Because if after spending so much in building a house, before building a house, you must first of all take the cost of maintenance. And that's why you see a lot of youth today driving cars that their grandfather could not buy, and driving for a few months and they cannot do the servicing of the car, they cannot even do repairs, because those things were not taken into cognizance. So, in your own side, because you have to do with the environment and land, if there's no proper monitoring, there will be issue. In my house where I live at TV Road, we used to have water flow, but during Oshogbo time, when they were trying to develop financial, they destroyed the whole pipes. But if there was proper planning, they knew that the Yaro Water Board was working and was giving us water. But all in the name of, see, civil servants are the people that drive the state. It's not politicians. Civil servants are the people that tell the politician that this is how it's supposed to be done. But most times, many years past now, the politicians are the one that are not telling the civil servants what they are supposed to do and which is not supposed to be so. So this is civil servant that will tell any incoming politician, this is the rule, this is the way it's supposed to be done. If a politician steals money, it's the civil servant that encourage the politician to steal money, because they show them the channels at which they are going to take the money from. So monitoring is very, very necessary, and we should ensure
We are quite listening to everyone. My colleague has done a good job. But the last speaker, prompted me to say something. I like the fact that you've come up with the M&E. It's also interesting to listen to a lot of people and see how they keep a lot of things on government. Government will not solve all the problem. And I want to go back to the two key things that you talked about that delve into environment and sustainability. One, you talked about your neighbor or somebody in your community who has built to block somebody's house. You said government should monitor. But you live there. Why don't you report to government that this is what's happening so that government can take action? Government cannot be everywhere at every time. People must begin to take responsibility. If I want to live in a tidy place and I'm tidy and my neighbor is not tidy, first and foremost, what do? Do I speak to my neighbor? Do I have other neighbors that are like me in that area that can talk to this neighbor and say, this is what we want to do? By that, we're not only helping ourselves, but also helping government. I'll give you a typical example. When people say, it's government. Yeah. Government's job is to provide enabling environment. But government don't live in your side of the town. You are government because you chose the people who you decide to serve you. So it's government for the people, by the people. A few months ago, I don't think all of you know the Secretariat Complex. You know the distance between Secretariat Complex and SLT. You know there's that road that goes behind the High Court. I was taking my head of account to the Auditor General's office, and I noticed this young man, and also like the fact that he said these young people buying cars that they cannot maintain. This young man, something just pricks me that his movement was a bit suspicious. So I slowed down even as I was driving, and I was watching the guy with my rear view mirror. You know what this guy did? He jumped out of his Lexus car and opened the back door and carried a whole rice bag of trash and quickly dumped it out, and as he was rushing back into his car, I reversed my car. And I said, you can't do that. Do you even realize that this is government premises? How do you bring trash from your home to dump it? Madam, I beg, go to school. It's my first time. I said, it's not your first time because of the way you have carried on. How many of you will have done that? Even my head of account in the car when he said she wouldn't have done that. Is it government that told him to go and pour dirt in that place? He created the dirt from his home and brought it to an area that he doesn't live in to trust him. How many of us take this kind of responsibility? You see people going on the road, and I'm telling you, this thing is personal. It's an individual behavior. The other day I was in a government house, HOS office complex. There was a man who finished drinking his can of Coca-Cola and dropped the can there. Again, I was there, and I stopped and said, okay, you cannot do that now. Look at the trash bin just in front of you. So let us begin to take responsibility for the kind of environment that we want to live in. It's a master plan. It has tried to capture everybody in it. But it's a document that will work because you and I are taking responsibility.
That's the point. In fact, she took the words right out of my mouth. And I will reiterate, we, the populace, have to start taking ownership. Look at government facilities, look at government assets as our own. It is for us, it's not for somebody else.
Commissioner for Education Dr. John Oviawe and other representatives come show strong commitment to take part for the master plan execution and to educate students and citizens about the benefits. They come call on other sectors to align with the master plan to move the state development forward.
I want to thank His Excellency Governor Obaseki and the Honorable Commissioner of Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Rural Development, Honorable Isoken Omo, for this amazing achievement. I call it an achievement because every time I encounter the master plan, I learn new things. I have better understanding of what it is to have good governance, to have planning. And it is my hope and wish that every citizen, every resident of Edo State, we have an opportunity to interact with this master plan and really understand what it means and imbibe it. So as Commissioner of Education, my own commitment as leader of my sector is to ensure that from the little children in kindergarten up to the young adults in our tertiary institutions, they know about this master plan, every facet of it, and they know what it means to live in a planned environment. And so for us in education, it's going to be beyond the rhetorics of saying it. It's about how we now incorporate every aspect of the master plan into our curriculum. It's very important. There are 14 areas: education, agriculture, health, environmental sustainability, finance, justice, technology, security, and so on and so forth. 14 of them, I've taken note of it. And so we want to make sure that those 14 areas are captured within our subject matter.
Given the policy trust of Mr. Governor and helping people live well in a society that is well built, the conceptualization and implementation of the mini master plan came to bear. I believe strongly that living as a people in a very civilized and organized environment will help us to prosper and help growth. And as we expand, people will begin to enjoy the dividends of democracy. I think that the sustainability of the master plan really sits with every one of us. We need to imbibe it, we need to own it. It's for us, by us. So I believe that once we understand the role the master plan is going to play in our life and how we live in Edo, sustainability becomes the easiest part of this document.
I think it's very, very nice. Firstly, we know that our government is a visionary government. And what the master plan did was lay out what the next 30 years for Edo State would look like as a planned city. And I commend the governor, I commend the Ministry of Physical Planning for this work. It's a good one, and we are there to support them to see it being executed. My dream at Edo State is an Edo State where transportation will be easy. You know, we look at nations around the world and we find underground railways, subway systems. I would like to see that in Edo State. My dream for Edo State in the next 30 years will be a city where we don't find trash around our city. And all these things are listed down in the master plan very well. And my dream for Edo will be a state where we have constant lights. You know, within the next 30 years, we have constant light to promote industry, promote technology, and promote development.
The view of master plan in Edo State is a very good one. At least it has outlined the plan of the governor or the plan for the state for the next 30 years. It will enable us to work according to the plan for the next 30 years, for us to know which of the sectors of the economy are placed in certain particular areas. And we also help people to plan according to the plan. Subsequent government, subsequent administration should be able to to work with a plan for a better Edo State. My dream Edo State is to see an Edo State where things work, where services are provided adequately, where there is pipe-borne water, where there is constant electricity, where there is technology, and where there is education for all. Where a situation whereby we have 100% rate of in-school children, whereby those that's out of school children will be in school in the next 30 years.
Master plan is a 30 years document, as we have been made to understand, that we have seen. The plan is to ensure equal development of the state. We want to see a state that is excellent. We want to see a state that is all-round developed. We want to see a state whereby people don't migrate from the rural setting to the urban setting just because of trying to seek greener pasture that they believe that is at the urban setting. We want to see a state that experience equal development. That is the whole essence of the master plan. Okay, to see all the infrastructure well put in place, all set or well taken care of. We want to see a state whereby the city center is exactly, the rural center is exactly like the city center.
Well, I'm glad first and foremost, I would say I'm deeply elated that I was invited. What was shown to us is blindingly beautiful. I cannot but pray that Allah makes me part of it when it comes to fruition. The map, for example, is what defines us as a people, and I want to salute the courage of the present administration for daring to say we could revive the past. It takes plenty of courage to do what is being done now, and I can assure you, except for anyone who has problem with his sanity, is a thing we are obviously going to buy into. It's a project we are going to buy into, and we'll take the inoculation to be able to resist any attempt for us to return to that past that has seen to the distortion of what was intended. Because growing up as kids, Benin in particular was a beauty to behold because it was planned. Today in the neighborhood where we stay, you could travel 5 kilometers, all built up. There are no exit roads, so to speak. So in an emergency, you are you are like ambushed. So this is what he's trying to address. Is about a complete manumission from our own entanglement. So it's a project that I honestly think every right-thinking person will buy into. And like I said, I am glad, and I say kudos to those who sat together to to deliver this. And the PANSEC, the Ministry of Physical whatever plan, has been wonderful in his articulation, in his eloquence, in communicating to us in a summary form what had been done. So it's a project that whether we are sleeping or standing or reclining, is a project that we are all certainly going to give amplification to.
First and foremost, I will appreciate the fact that we were invited to at least be a party to this whole discussion, as it were. And of course, this is indeed a good one, which every rational human being will buy into. And with the detailed explanation given by the PS Physical Planning, we have so much to take home. And of course, we are going to communicate same to all our Muslim and even our non-Muslim brothers and sisters, to ensure that all of us are resolved to ensure that we all implement and defend this master plan, as it were, and then attempt to distort it by whatever body we should be in collectivity, come out to defend it, because it is the only thing and the driving force that will enable us have a perfect environment that is free of what we call it cumbrance, as it were, and that of course also will help us to redirect all our structures, as it were. I will have situation that will bring about erosion that is invading, like you can observe in some area, especially in some area in GRA, because of people would have built on the waterway or whatsoever. You have a lot of erosion destroying what do you call it, property here or there. So at least if this plan is put into this in implementation fully, then of course I think everybody will go home and sleep without having any reason to encounter any difficulty, steps of moving around, and of course also enjoy the benefit of the society. So by God's grace, we are going to defend it and not go to speak about it to others, and of course we are sure that will be part of the entire system that will drive the force.
Yeah, I feel it's a good idea that is coming from Mr. Governor, and I promise to help spread the idea.
The master plan, they have been able to enlighten us. They have exposed us to the short, medium, and long-term plan of the state, and we are very satisfied. We have also made our contributions. We have also asked some questions which have been answered, and we know that yes, we have a future in this master plan. We have a direction, and we know where we are going, where we are coming from, and where we are currently. So we are very satisfied with this gathering for today. In the next 30 years, we are seeing Edo State that all other states will come and learn from. We are seeing Edo State that will be a pace-setting state to other states. Edo State that people will come and take training on how to build their own state. That's what we have seen today.
I see the master plan as a very important document, very necessary for the development of the state, especially making sure that the Benin City is well organized, well structured. In 30 years, I dreamt of Edo State, of Benin City that will be well planned, well structured, and where everything will be well organized.
Make una not forget say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We no dey take blame. From Benin City, Ekata Ojisoli, TMC TV News.